Hi there, I'm Joe Terso with River City Logix. We are a MSP coaching and consulting company for processes to help you with operational improvements. Today we're going to be talking about agreement profitability. Why do you need to know about agreement profitability? If you're making money, but you want to know where the costs are you leaving money on the table? Agreement profitability summary, which we're going to look at first, is going to be about what is my gross profit and what is my net profit. We will only be talking about managed services agreement, and we have a couple of terms that we're going to go over. Labor loaded gross margin is the agreement percentage or the agreement value after you apply COGS, your cost of goods sold, and labor. The COGS are going to be stuff like your RMM, your AV, your AVIC or your printer management, NBM, whatever it is that you use to support that agreement. And your labor is whatever labor that was applied to the agreement based on time. Not all the labor, just the time applied to the agreement. We're using MSPbots as our platform for their financial app that allows you to have the summary and the drill downs. As you see, I'm logged into MSPbots now, and I go over to their apps and I get all of their apps. You can't see the financial ones, so I'm going to hide this, and you'll see Financial Suite for ConnectWise Manage. We'll go ahead and open this, and you'll see I'm at the Agreement Profit Summary. I'm doing a 1 year. This is by default 1 year, because if you look at 1 month, that's not a trend. You can look at the rolling 3 months, or the best one is for the year. Agreement summary profitability is quite honestly, how much I billed, here's how much I made. Right, this is my profit. So my profit margin is 67.1%. So your zero mark is a basement number that you don't want to go below without a situation being critical, because it will impact your minimal profitability. Your zero mark can be low, your zero mark can be high. Right now we're saying a good gross profit or labor loaded gross margins is between 60 and 70 is good. Your lowest rate or your zero mark is 55%, because that should be where your agreement profitability is for project. Your project profitability should be, and anything lower than that, you might as well be paying your client to do managed services. You always want to be above your project labor, because that makes it more of a break fix contract and not really agreement profitability. As you see, we put in about 770 hours against this agreement, and my effective rate is 175. 175 is my zero mark for these agreements. So this tells me from my billed amount, there's too much cost or too much labor driving my effective rate down. My contribution rate is how much after my G&A that I apply to the labor. Now, it's not all of my overhead, but it is the G&A related to that, is that general administration and overhead related to that labor that I've applied. So this tells me kind of where I need to look. So let's break this down into these 4 blocks. The agreement profit margin trend, as I said, is 67%, but being between 60 and 70 is healthy. As you can see, March I dipped into 51%. Bad. Something happened in March that I should dive into. April, of course, is still going on. This is April 21st, so it's not over. It's going to look good. Not all the time has been applied to the agreement. So we ignore this one. But I went from 69% down to 51%. Something happened that tells me I need to be alerted. Now again, wherever this number ends up, I'll start seeing if I'm trending up or trending down. This just tells me my labor to agreement is off. Now when I look at this number, it says after my, what's my dollar rate of this percentage? So at 67%, I'm making $166. That's my effective rate. Now again, 165 being my zero mark, 175 being where I want the minimum to be, and closer to 225 is where I want it. So as you can see, I'm all over the place with my effective rate trend. As you can see, the same thing here. The less hours I put in, the more it is. So I'm looking about 52 hours is where I should be. And only a couple of months have I hit that. So I'm putting too much time against these agreements to make them profitable. The more labor I put in, the less money I make. And that's kind of where you want to see it. And you can see I have some ebb and flow going here, and I need to find out why. When I look at my contribution rate, I have about a 25 to 30% contribution rate. Your minimum, you really don't have a zero mark on your overhead, but most people have between 20 and 40%. 40% would be your zero mark. You should never go above 40% or it's going to be tough to maintain profitability. That's saying your costs are too high for the labor that you're using. Not necessarily the labor salary, but it could be benefits, it could be whatever you're allocating to that labor, real estate's too high, whatever it is that you're allocating to that labor to fulfill the contract. Your contribution rate is running. It should never be, never more than 40%. We're at 25 to 30, so I know that while the margin percentage is different, sometimes I'm making $67 an hour. $67 an hour. I know there's been a problem here that from December going all the way down to March, there was a problem that if I wasn't looking at this, I wouldn't know that I was having that problem because I'm still making money, right? I may not be making the same amount of money. I may be at 4% net profit after all costs, but I'm still making money. And if I don't drill into this, I won't know why. One of the things you drill into is the labor. What's happening? What were the tickets? What was the client sentiment? So from this dashboard, I can see all the key ingredients to where I'm making money or where I'm losing money overall. Now, of course, you want to look at this as a per agreement as well on a monthly basis, see which agreements are trending in the wrong direction, which singular agreements are causing this, because some of your agreements could be 225. Now, if they were 250 or higher, right, that's again above your ceiling, above your zero mark, because those clients are probably not getting serviced enough. There's not enough happening, which can cause you to lose the client. And of course, agreements that are below are dragging your effective rate down overall, and those clients could be too noisy. They're not getting their technology serviced correctly. So we'll start with this agreement summary, and then we'll drill into the rest. As you can see from their financial suite, you have everything in this app. Your summary, your details, your margin, right? And any additional building. Off-site storage, or if you the backup separately, or whatever additional billing that you do, could be M365 licensing, or just whatever you're reselling. And then there are hard costs and products sold. We'll get into each of these one at a time in separate videos, but as a overview of your agreement profitability summary and why it's important, I think we covered as a good part of labor load or gross margins and the net profit of the agreements and where to look. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out, info at rivercitylogix.ai, or you can email me directly, joe.terso@rivercitylogix.ai, or you can go to MSPbots directly at MSPbots.ai and go ahead and sign up and get this application going. This in itself can help prevent you from disaster or show you where you are making and losing money. That's all I have. Please like and subscribe, and I thank you for your time.